there, this is Oscar Mikey, and welcome back to this look at the Irish Ironman achievement run. We are starting to get peace offers from Holland, which is the war goal leader, or the war leader, as I should say. Most of the factions are bound up in the fate of the war goal because of the nature of the war, a coalition war, so we can sue for peace and get war reparations from Holland. We will go ahead and accept that because, like I said, we're not going to be able to get any additional concessions. We're not getting any ticking war score either, so we were more or less at a stalemate. So even though we fought a bloody war that required us to take out many loans, here's something that's important. I'm probably going to have to move my main trading port to London very soon. Yeah, we got the best of both worlds there. We had to defend France. If we didn't, the coalition would get... There we go. Just add London as my main trading port and switch my channel to the... That will have the effect of switching my trading port channel to the English channel. So yeah, like I was saying, got the best of both worlds there. If I'd let France be rolled over, the coalition would demand I release certain nations as part of my territory, and I would have to accept. So I had to defend France to keep our defensive alliance's war score reasonably high. France peaced out, which meant that I got into positive war score territory, having won a lot of battles, and I was actually able to extract some war reparations from Holland. So I'm just modifying my trade a little bit here. We will probably take a hit in the short term, because we only have 3 provinces in the English Channel trade node. However, in the long term, it's going to be very beneficial having moved our main trading centre to London. Good gracious, we are behind in technology. We're doing extremely well in military technology and very poorly in every other tech group. So, it's an obvious choice for our first idea. We will invest it into quality. That's going to give us a nice advantage for our land army. In addition to that, we'll get lots of positive modifiers to our navy. The 2 things we're probably most reliant on for the purposes of this guide. So not too bad at all. 23 loans. War reparations from Holland will help us a little bit in paying off these loans. As you can see, I'm actually making a decent amount of money now, having virtually no land army to speak of. We've got truce timers with everyone, so... And one of the options I can take through the papal interactions is to lower interest. The interest rate, that's going to significantly make it easier for me to pay off these 23 loans. I'm going to cancel that mission. We're not really in a position to do anything at the moment. Again, we're just focused on repaying these loans. And there goes our phenomenal general. Can't complain, he served us extremely well in a war with England and a war against the coalition. We would have been in a lot of trouble without him, so... Political crisis, that's going to be a 25 legitimacy hit. Pretty painful, but... Can't afford advisors, unfortunately, or heir to the throne. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that. Very much a Celtic name, and I'm going to avoid having to butchering that name, but lost my train of thought. Yeah, our general served us extremely well in both of those wars, so can't really complain about that. We still got our faction leader, which has 3 shocks, so that'll probably be sufficient in our next war with England. So I'm speeding up time here. It's going to take us a long time to repay those loans. And with it comes a bucket load of inflation. Well, there's one done with. Rival of our rival. That's always a good mission to take. Free diplomatic power, always very easy to achieve. Yeah, France sued for a separate peace. They had to give up some territory, but not much. And they're still our ally, so France is going to continue to protect us against any fledgling coalitions in the European continent. And so long as they do that, and we fight alongside them, we more or less can solely concentrate on battering down England. And I'm going to move my army away from London, which is extremely vulnerable, to Northumberland. I'm going to have to keep an eye on when our truce time with England expires. Because of the weakness of my relative strength, England will probably declare war on me as soon as that truce time expires. So even with France on our side, and if they did declare war on us, we would be in a heck of a lot of trouble. Our army would be steamrolled, we'd have no fortifications, so we wouldn't be able to stop them, basically. It is a long truce timer because we succeeded in having 100 war score. Look at all those loans. What is by now a familiar theme as all my strategy guides. Gain 1 stability, not bad. So in the grand scheme of things, we got +1 stability, then we took -1 from another decision, and then we're back up. So we're in a surplus. So we have 86 papal influence. Smartest thing to do is use it to reduce our interest cost. You can see that reduces the total interest we pay every month on behalf of the loans by 1 ducat. So by about over 25%. It's always a nice strategy to employ if you've got more loans. Well, you have two options basically. You can reduce the interest cost through your papal interaction, or you can deliberately go bankrupt. And if you want to deliberately go bankrupt, all you have to do is hire a bunch of expensive advisors, take out max loans, and start building ships, and that'll place you into bankruptcy. Bearing in mind that when you do go bankrupt, all those ships and buildings and things you were constructing prior to the immediate bankruptcy will be removed. So it's not like it's something you can exploit, but sometimes going bankrupt and taking the early hit is preferable to going bankrupt only over a much longer period of time. We're not at risk of that, though. We're doing pretty solidly here, so truce timer will expire in exactly 1 year. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to declare war on England immediately once the truce timer expires. So I'll wait for about a year for the expiry date, build an army, and we'll go attack England again. So I'm going to stop repaying loans now. We completed our mission. Stop repaying loans, and as close to the date as we can get, we'll build up an army, attack England, and see if we can conquer more of their provinces and hopefully get a bit of money. Yep, this has been a particularly brutal guide, having really spent a lot of time considering it. You would not want to follow necessarily in these footsteps, or if at all possible, try and wait for England to become bogged down in some war on the continent or something like that. Fighting that war with England when they were in a position of strength was really, really brutal. So we're closing in now on that truce timer. Time to start recruiting some troops. I will try and keep as few as cavalry as possible. chiefly for the fact that we don't need cavalry anymore. We have a pretty strong army. Strong, but as you can see, England has managed to marshal up 18,000 troops in Yorkshire. That is quite a lot. Not gonna lie. I have to take out a loan. And these are big loans now. We've increased our total base tax, so these loans have skyrocketed. So yeah, truce time is literally about to expire, so don't want to take any chances now that we got this far. Take out a couple loans, build up a large army. Always seek to have a numerical superiority over them. And as soon as this army's marshalled up, we'll declare war, attack into Yorkshire. Now hopefully it'll be a simple theme of stack wiping now, fighting 2 battles. The second should be a stack wipe, and once we've done that, simply occupy and siege down their fortifications. Increase army maintenance now. This is sure to harm our income. Support House of Lancaster. So this is interesting. They must be having War of the Roses. Pretty good time for us to strike. I've never actually seen War of the Roses trigger so late. Yep, perfect time to strike. They're actually going to be significantly weakened as a result of that rebellion. You can see that. Not too bad at all. Not necessary. We would have been able to take out their army comfortably since we simply had more troops than them. Nonetheless, saves us a bit of manpower. Spending my excess military monarch power in ideas. Unfortunately, Leinster's national ideas are some of the worst in the game. By far, they are absolutely atrocious. So I'm not sure you'd want to continue on with the Leinster game having got the achievement. Okay, so Holland and Flanders is going to join their side, so that will mean we will probably have to contest some amphibious landings in our own territory or on England's provinces. No matter, we have a large army. I want to just get one more claim fabricating. That'll take us a month before we get our diplomat back, so we should be able to declare war on the 5th of October. Set a war goal as something an easy target. Wessex doesn't have any nearby fortifications. I actually hire a mercenary in London so that I can occupy that immediately, and it's time to attack. Superior troop numbers, better general, better ideas, same tech. Move in. Yeah, a bit of a massacre. I don't know where that army's going. It's going to Meath, I see. So that's not going to be a problem. England can't possibly hope to stop the Channel crossing because we have both provinces occupied. So we'll pursue that army into Meath. Not sure if we'll be able to get the sack wipe, but we are going to have to deal with those English pretender rebels at some point. What we'll probably do is wait for them to get the siege progression in marches up to like 30-40% and then move in and attack the army and take control of the siege ourselves. So we do stack wipe that army. We'll detach some regiments and then seek to occupy all of England. Once we've done that, it's more or less going to be a mopping up operation. We probably recruited way more cavalry than we actually needed to. But better to be safe than sorry. We can call in France. That's good. I will go ahead and do that. Wonder why they accept the call to arms now, but not early on. Maybe we didn't have as many favours. Yeah, there's Holland mounting a little... No, we were just at war with Holland, if you remember, in the coalition war, but that's going to actually cancel the war reparations they were giving us. That's a bit of a shame. And France's fleet's going to be particularly useful to us. So things are looking pretty good. We are a little understrengthed in our sieging of Meath. We must have taken a disease outbreak or something like that, so that's something to keep an eye on. Not actually sure it will replenish by its own accord because we are at 0 manpower, unfortunately. So let's get my fleet and see if we can assist those transport ships who are taking a bit of a battering. Yeah, we'll wait until that siege progression gets up high in marches, and once that's happened, we'll move in and take control of the siege for ourselves. First priority's got to be eliminating these reinforcing English regiments. There goes one. Yeah, pretty much a mopping operation. I'll talk a little bit about Leinster's national ideas. Now, you do have the option to reform, I think that's what it's called, reform into the Irish nation. Which doesn't actually make any material difference because they share the same national ideas. Your ideas are things like minus 10% attrition, minus 1 revolt risk, like minus 10% stability cost modifier. So pretty much, I think you have +1 legitimacy as well, not too sure. Pretty much the worst national ideas in the game. I think that only Naples has similarly atrocious national ideas. Yeah, Naples and Ireland, certainly, national ideas are atrocious. They really could do with a bit of a change because they are... We also get one that I think increases our yearly papal influence by 1 or 2. Which is slightly better, but still not exactly great. I don't think we get any national ideas that actually improves the effectiveness of our army or our navy. And we also get a increased national tax modifier, but I think it's only 10%. When you consider England gets 15%, not too good. So unfortunately we didn't time our battle correctly, and we are not going to be able to take control of the siege of Marches before it's sieged down by the rebels. That's partly because we had to leave troops in Meath, sieging down that fortification. Bit annoying, but not really going to be much of a problem, to be honest. I'm trying to think to see if there's any better way to approach dealing with those rebels. They probably won't move into provinces we occupy because they're English pretender rebels in a civil war. Oh, never mind, they are actually going to do that, and they're going to attack into Derbyshire. So we'll just avoid them for now. They may actually, I'm not sure, that Calais is still in English possession. So they might, if we occupy tons of provinces in England, they might actually try and relocate into Calais. So I'm just trying to think of ideas where we wouldn't have to take them down ourselves. Save us a bit of manpower. France is holding the line very steadfastly in the continent. They're getting a bit of revenge for their earlier defeat to Holland. Yeah, so they're actually going to move into Oxfordshire. I wonder who's going to arrive first. Okay, interesting. Can we actually attack them? I don't think we can. No, we can't. That's interesting. Didn't actually know that. They are enemy to us, but I guess that's a special part of the English Civil War. You can actually attack pretender rebels. But they can't occupy our own provinces, so we're not actually going to have to expend any additional effort in order to deal with them. I'm just trying to think. They may just. It looks like they're just going to run around the south of England, like basically a headless chicken. That seems to be what they're going for. But there's nothing that would stop them from relocating to Calais or Yorkshire. I just don't think that they have the intelligence for that, so... Oh, well, I say that, but they're heading somewhere. Grant export licenses. Okay, another little decision there. They are taking a battering in the legitimacy department, considering the fact that our next heir has a weak claim. Not looking too good in that front, but low legitimacy increases the risk of, bad decisions happening, like internal conflicts, civil wars, that sort of stuff. So that's something to keep an eye on. We'll fret over that when the time comes. Yeah, France is just rolling over Flanders at the moment. Oh, no, we're at war with Flanders, not Holland, of course, because Holland does have a unbreakable truce timer with us, I think. Can't remember exactly how it works, but I made a mistake there. We're not actually at war with Holland. France isn't getting revenge. We're at war with Flanders. They share very similar flags. So... And Flanders used to not be in the game. It used to be just Burgundy until they broke up Burgundy into lots of little fiefdoms and personal unionships. See if we can get war reparations from them. This is going to greatly boost our income. We'll have war reparations from Holland and Flanders at this rate, and a bit of money as well. We'll only get 39 of the money, but better than nothing. We'll take it. More war reparations, the better. So an interesting bit of history for you. I'm not sure if you knew this. You probably thought that personal unions were a thing from a bygone era, but actually during the Second World War, when France was overrun by Germany at the outbreak in 1940, Winston Churchill actually offered to make France part of a personal union under Great Britain, which would have been a political and legal means by which France could have continued the war against Nazi Germany, despite having their entire country overrun by the Germans, of course. And it would have allowed them to transfer their government to England and to continue to govern French-occupied territory from England. It also would have ensured that they wouldn't have had to sue for a peace treaty with Germany, thus ensuring that they wouldn't have to make any territorial concessions. So a little bit of history for you there. May think personal unions are an unrealistic aspect of this game, but Second World War, Winston Churchill offered to make Great Britain a personal union over France for various legal and political reasons, so that France could continue the war against Nazi Germany. So personal unions do have their uses, and they are featured quite heavily in history, right up, as I say, to the 20th century. Of course, France declined. Some French politicians at that time thought it would be more preferable that France made a deal with Nazi Germany than it would with Great Britain, which was sort of the sentiment at that time, given the fact that the Allied forces were retreating from Dunkirk by this stage. So we've got 90% war score, and we should be able to sue for peace fairly soon. I'm just waiting to see if France can successfully occupy Calais. That will give us 100% war score. Might not need it though. Yeah, you can see these English pretender rebels don't really know what to do. I think once we sue for peace, they will cause England quite a bit of trouble. Okay, let's see what we can get. That looks pretty good, to be honest. It's going to take us one more additional war, it seems, to fully conquer England. That's not too big a problem, though. That should take us a little over 1500, so we're still reasonably well on schedule. Always expending all our war score and territory, because after all, we wouldn't want to have to fight 2 more additional wars to conquer all of England. That looks pretty good to me, to be honest. War reparations would be nice, sure, but I'm more concerned about territory. Since we have English as an accepted culture group, we'll take it. Alright. Gives us a bunch of power projection. Coin costs are pretty high, but we're not going to be able to have enough administrative pod to call those provinces straight away. And we got more coalitions massing, of course. Friesland has now joined the coalition. Utrecht has Normandy, Burgundy. Jeez Louise. This is why we have France as an ally. If we didn't, we'd be at risk of just being run over. France is still loyal to us, thank God. I was worried that they might actually want territory. Then I remembered that it was call to arms without us offering them any territory. Yeah, things are looking green in the British Isles. Grass is always greener. Yeah, well, I think that this will probably be as good a time as ever to put another cut in this video series. So stay tuned, folks. We're almost there. We've almost got the highly coveted achievement. As always, I'm Oscar Mike, and I'll see you shortly.